What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Tomboy Podcast. I'm your host, Kristin Miles, and I've got my good friend Lilla Martone Smith with me today. We are excited to chat about everything that we've got going on. I am excited to do this second episode. How are you feeling?
Second episode. I'm feeling great. I caught a little something on my travels. I just got back day before yesterday, and between flying and being around everybody sick in a different country, you just catch things that you don't normally catch. So I got a little something happening, but we good. We here. And we're back. Listen, it is almost over here. It is 7:43 p.m. here, and to lead into what we're going to be talking about today, this is 40. This is my bedtime drink. I got ginger, honey tea, and some coffee. This is where we're at, guys. This is where we're at.
I like that mug.
Thanks. It's a little unicorn mug, but it came off.
Yeah, you're a unicorn.
I am, kind of.
You are. You totally are. Okay, so we did want to talk today about how we have had different careers in the past, how we've made transitions. Lila's smack dab in the middle of one. I think this was the first New Year's resolution, springtime, summer's on its way that I didn't get bombarded with, oh my God, I'm going on vacation calls and I need your help. So I feel like, people are getting the hint.
I think once people put you in a box of who you are, like whether that's your job or what you do in your spare time, once you're in that box, it is so hard to change people's view. So then in turn, it's hard to change your own view of yourself. I mean, I struggle every day with, so I'm actually no longer a teacher. 17 years of my life, I was teaching. It defined me. I had to base my behavior, my social media, things I said in public, how I, just the way I carried myself. I had to do it because of my profession. Now it's like, bring it on. Like I can say and do whatever I want because I am no longer that. But there are still people. I have a lot of ex-students on my social media that are like, oh my God, you're doing this podcast and you said the word sex. And I'm like, yeah, I did. And I'm going to say it a lot, a lot.
Well, part of that is where you were teaching the last few years, I think. And what I think is such a cool dynamic is how similar it is when you're a trainer to being a teacher or in some type of a profession where people expect you to have a certain level of discipline or organization or decorum.
And it's like we're placed in this box. And when you're given that opportunity to hit that point in your life where you feel comfortable, confident enough to say, you know what, screw the box. I'm out of the box.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you call it a box, even because most times it's not self-imposed, and maybe it starts that way. I think when I first started just even like going to the gym and not being in a pool swimming, like using weights, and you kind of want to take on that identity. You want to learn the ins and outs and the details. That's how you master the skill. So you do have to embody that to a certain extent. And when it's something like being a teacher and it's 24/7, it's 24/7. You have no choice. You have no choice.
I mean, even in America, I would be out at Walmart in a tank top and run into my students or their parents, and you can see them looking at you like, oh, that's your teacher? Like, I can't wear a tank top,
I think that points to a bigger topic or a bigger issue even, where you're so beautiful and you're so much to look at. I mean, oh my God. I mean, anybody that's met you in person, I try to tell Gabe this all the time. I'm like, you see pictures of her and she's gorgeous. You have zero clue. Like no, you don't have the kind of beauty. And this is not me laying it on y'all. This is just me observing her for the past 25 something years in front of all different types of people and seeing the reactions that they have. They're just like in awe of how beautiful you are and how well spoken you are. And you have like this light that comes out of you, and people are attracted to that. So when a parent is seeing you as their teacher, I mean, you're a sexy woman. And I could imagine a lot of them were thinking,
what?
My husband is not going to PTA meetings. So I just think that's also an added element. It's not necessarily your age or you can't ignore it because it is what it is. And what it's a privilege. I feel it's a privilege because everybody's attracted to you. Everybody's drawn to you. Little kids love you. Everybody
Oh,
loves
thanks.
you. When I was telling my dad about doing the podcast with you, he was like, I always liked her. I was like, everybody does. He's so funny.
Well, my dad just refers to you as, oh, your beautiful friend. She used to,
Mm.
yes, she's just so beautiful. And I was like, yes, yes. So here we are, and I
He
mean,
only said that because I was trying to sit on his lap.
Kristen's love for large
Oh my
men,
God.
I think, stems from my
It
father.
definitely it
Yeah.
definitely started with Laszlo. It
Oh,
totally
Laszlo.
did. He's like you. He exudes a presence and people are drawn to that. So I don't think that has as much to do with just a tank top as it does the person in the tank top. And everybody, that's what I was getting at with teachers. There are some teachers that, I don't even know how to say it without like sounding
They
like
look
I'm
like
talking
teachers.
poorly about somebody, but they're wearing sweaters that have teddy bears on them, and their entire vibe is kid friendly. And that's
Yeah.
awesome. We have got to have
Right.
people like that. We have totally
Right.
got to have people like that. But there are also some of us and others, a lot of us that are just not teachers. We're not willing to hold ourselves to that standard all the time.
Yeah.
And some teachers get themselves in trouble because they don't take it seriously enough. I do think we have to
Right.
have those teachers there, but and I think you were an amazing person to be in a lot of those girls' lives because they're seeing you be a woman confident
Right.
in her body, in her profession, owning it. Because whether you feel like you were in a box or not, you were still very much you as a
Right.
teacher.
Right. To a fault
You were a
sometimes.
Barbie doll teacher.
I mean, they
I
used to
mean,
call me Biology Barbie. Literally, Biology
yes,
Barbie was my name. But
yes.
I loved it. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed every day, the good days, the bad days. It was absolutely my calling. It was worth it. I know I changed lives. They changed my life. They helped me become who I am today. And it just got to a point where it was time to move on. And I have nothing but amazing things to say about people who are teachers. I commend you. I respect you. You deserve everything in this world because what you're dealing with is beyond anything. Even 17 years ago when I started, the profession was a completely different profession. And I just commend you. We need you. And it was just unfortunately my time to go. And so here we are right now.
And it was a lot of that was circumstantial, but it was also probably just time for you, just like it was with me and the fitness stuff. I mean, I think I
Right.
mentioned this to you before in just a conversation we were having that it's just not challenging for me anymore. And I think the best way to learn something from somebody is somebody that is still learning it themselves. They're going to teach it to you. It's going to be more fresh in their mind. They're going to have a different way to explain it to you
Hmm.
because they're assimilating it to something that they're dealing with at the time. And not just to be 100%, I don't struggle with a whole lot when it comes to fitness or exercise or motivation or whatever it is. I just freaking do it.
Right.
And I'm not as strict as people probably think I am anymore. I'm actually less strict than I have been since I ever started competing. I'm actually back to where I was right before I started competing, as far as just feeling like freedom with food and not worrying about it or wondering about it or even thinking about it much.
Hmm.
Past this, a few checklist things that I take off, that are a priority to me. I don't train or exercise as much as I used to, and I feel better than I ever have. My joints feel better. I don't have clicks and pops in my hip as much as I was. I was really having some issues that I needed to address, and I just
Hmm.
wasn't feeling challenged by it anymore, and it wasn't firing me up anymore. And doing that for 15, 20 years, I mean, it was almost 20 years. That's a long time to do anything. So
Right.
I feel like
Look at everything you achieved, look at where you are today, and it's just time, and it's not
100%.
like you're leaving it completely behind and deciding to
No.
throw away your past. You're just evolving, and that's okay. It is okay to
Yeah.
evolve. It is okay to say, you know what, I'm ready for what's next, and then own it and do it and go out there and get
Yep.
it. That's what we're doing
Yep.
every single day.
Just figure it out. I had no idea how to start a podcast. I figured it out. I had no idea how to build a website. I figured it out. I had no idea how to do anything I've ever learned how to do, but I figured it out.
Right.
And that's what I think a tomboy is in my terminology now when we talk about like rewriting a narrative. I freaking can do anything. There is not a single thing on this planet that if another woman or man can do it, that I don't think I can learn the skill, practice it, have the discipline for, the toughness. There is nothing mentally I don't think that I can handle. That being said, that's the vibe, you know?
That's the
I know
vibe,
you've
right?
always like that is the vibe. Like we are hot, we are capable, we are wearing the bikini, we are
Mhm.
switching careers, we are whatever it is that thing is for you.
And it's okay if that thing isn't something that is completely laid out. Lay it out yourself, choose that path, find an endpoint, and figure out how to get there. That's what we're doing. We're doing it every single day. I had no idea a few months ago what was next. I sat here where I live now, and it was the first time in 17 years that in August I wasn't sitting down feverishly writing lesson plans and making out my to-do list and writing seating charts. And I had a few moments where I was like, okay, what else am I capable of? What can I do? And then this life coaching thing, imposter syndrome. And initially it was, who am I to tell you how to make your life better? Who am I? Who's going to listen to me? What validation could I possibly give myself to do this? And then you just do it, and you try it. And I told myself, this is my time to fail. This is my time. If it's not going to work out, that's okay. And you have to remember it's okay to fail. That's it. That's all you have to tell yourself. It's okay to fail.
You're
So
going to.
you just keep moving on.
You're going to. Yeah, if you're not failing, you're not trying. You just can't quit. And I don't have any quit, you know? I will I just don't have any quit. So that was part of why it was hard for me to switch and for me to not train people anymore. I had the hardest time even telling people that no, I'm not coaching people in person anymore. I don't take clients in the gym anymore.
Right. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to fail. You're going to come across things that work, some that don't work, and you just have to keep going. But some people got it, some people don't.
I would be lying if I didn't say that wasn't also a huge reason because I just get tired of listening to people give me excuses as to why they can't do something that I know they can do. And
Right.
I can only give you so many reasons why you're wrong that you can do this thing you're saying you can't do. You know, you can do it. Figure it out.
And
Figure
do it.
it.
That should be the title of this podcast. Figure it out.
Well, it
Yeah.
really is that it you have to be willing to be curious and be an investigator if you want to make changes in anything. You have to know your why. You have to know the end goal. You have to ask yourself questions. There has to be introspection. I thought the other day, I need to make a shirt. Self awareness is fucking sexy.
Right.
Self aware. Just ask yourself questions. What am I not doing to get that to that goal that I want?
Right. If
You have to be willing to be able to view yourself as an outsider while also not allowing outsiders' opinions to matter to you that much. And it's a hard balance, but you do have to be able to look at your situation sometimes and say, how would I judge this if this were somebody else? What would I suggest if I were somebody else? And I think being a coach for so long did make me have to question myself a lot, just as a good coach. Well,
yeah,
do I do
and
what I'm suggesting? Am I
right.
doing this thing that I'm suggesting to her? And that's why I say somebody that's fresh in it and is learning can be better sometimes because they're asking themselves the same questions. And I'm
Right.
not asking myself. Like now
Not
did
anymore.
I drink enough water today? You know?
Right. I think a
No,
lot of
I didn't.
times Right. I think a lot of times we fail to ask ourselves how much of what I'm going through or what I'm not achieving is my fault. Because we're quick to say, oh, it's genetics, and oh, my body can't do this, or I just know I can't do this, or I'm not smart enough. But at the end of the day, if we ask ourselves, okay, but how am I holding myself back? What of my surroundings or my ability to reach my goal is my fault? I think a lot of people are not self-aware and they don't take into consideration that you're not putting in the work, you're not dedicated. Well, then it's not going to happen. That's life. People love
Yep.
excuses and they love a reason why, and it's never them. So I think self-awareness is
And sometimes people just like to talk about what they're going to do in a conversation as small talk, and that's fine
yeah.
too. But I try not to say things I don't mean. And I want to get to that point, which is why we've got the Tomboy Clubhouse on OnlyFans. I know everybody got real excited and had a lot of questions about that. I had more than a few girlfriends reach out and have some questions about it. Some wanting to know how to start it, some just wanting to know what I was doing on it, some wanting to be involved. And it has been really fun. I have to say, Gabe has been telling me, I'm just going to talk about this. We haven't really talked about this in depth, but Gabe has been telling me since at least 2020, when all of that stuff came out with OnlyFans, that I should have one. He's like, you already have your fitness photos online from the contests and the magazines, and then you post yourself in a bikini all the time. Why not put it somewhere where if they're going to Google you or they want to find more photos of you or whatever, they can find you first, and they'll be paying you first. And I kind of was like, yeah, it makes sense. I get it. But I also didn't love I didn't love that I didn't really like why I'm married. I don't want anybody to think I'm dating. I don't want anybody to think I'm available. Like I didn't like that aspect of it. Did
Mhm.
I think I could make a lot of money on it? Hell yeah. Did I think I could throw down on that thing? Yes, absolutely. But I also was like, I'm married. So for me, the funny thing about it is like the being married part is also what gave me the balls to do it now. But going back to what I was saying before, he kept saying I needed to put it on OnlyFans. It just wasn't making sense. And then last year he came up to me with the idea that we should still take the tomboy photos and the clothes for the website and that kind of thing, but then also have an OnlyFans page for Tomboy where we maybe slice a shirt or cut the shoulder, or maybe the shorts are shorter, or whatever the case is. Because I kept telling him, I really want the brand to be more focused on grown women. I want to talk to women that are going to think the guys from Extreme are hot and that still love Michael Jackson and like, you know what I'm saying? They drink Fresca. Hello.
Or
I
coffee and tea
mean,
at 8 p.m.
Fresca is such like an 80s drink. So I feel like I just wanted more grown women. It was a selfish way for me to have cool ass chicks around me. And it worked. So darn. Um, but with the Tomboy on OnlyFans thing, what finally made it click for me was just over the winter. I'm like, wait a minute, that's how I make that line in the sand that this is what Tomboy is. This is what we're doing. This is the kind of stuff we talk about. If you don't have crotchless panties in your underwear drawer, this ain't for you. And it just was like the light bulb went off, and then everything else started coming after that. I thought to myself, wow, I've been wanting a magazine for years. I've always loved magazines. I read them as a kid. It was how I learned how to do absolutely everything. And I just would love to have a magazine. Why can't I? And with all these other skills I've had to develop for the podcast and to build my websites and the race team, because we haven't even talked about the race team yet. I mean, most people that already know me know about it, but I don't think they know the full scope of it because they only see snippets. So when
Exactly.
Kristin says she's busy in that career, that's that whole missing piece. I can't believe I even missed that part. With the race team, and when we started with the cars and the dragsters, and I'm doing the social media and I'm having to learn this and learn that, and I'm making these video decks and media decks for sponsors to sponsor our race team.
Yeah.
So all of this was very well thought out. I haven't just like thrown myself out into the wind and hope nothing bad happened. I've taken precautions to make sure that it's shown in the best light as possible, but it was still a way to get attention. It worked. It was a way to get eyes on the website. It worked. It's a way to get more listeners on the podcast. Hopefully that works. And I just feel like it has drawn out the people in the crowd that really believe in what I'm doing, and that's going to strengthen the momentum going forward. Everybody else that was adding their comment in here, 2 cents here, it didn't make sense, they don't understand it, blah blah blah. It's not for you.
Right.
What's that
And
Steve
that's okay.
Harvey quote? He's like, God didn't show it to them, he showed it
Right.
to you. So I just, it's not for them, and that's fine. But I have already had numerous people tell me they can't wait to hear my sexy Southern accent on the podcast again. So, hey.
Hey. And with that is that box, like, oh, OnlyFans is only this box. There's a girl on OnlyFans teaching you how to grow microgreens right now. Okay?
I love that.
So, I mean, come on. You can learn to grow microgreens. This man was teaching you how to decorate a Christmas tree. It is what it is. People have a stigma. Those aren't our people, and that's fine. The box. We're talking about the box again. We're breaking out of the box and we're finding that in the box, there's a lot more room. Okay. I'm going to be
Yeah.
taking my coaching to OnlyFans as well. Once again, this is not me coaching butt naked. This is me allowing people a safe space. You can do it anonymously. You can get on there, men and women. Okay. This way, if they have questions, so they don't feel comfortable getting on a one-on-one coaching session and making it so formal, they can hop on and we can do one session together. I can do a Q&A in a safe place where people are comfortable talking about these things that are already on OnlyFans. So, no, we're not getting up there to get butt naked and dance around. We're getting up there to utilize this platform that has so many followers and so many people that want information as well as cute, pictures and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's again breaking out of the box. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as what you can see and what we show and everything else on the OnlyFans page, I feel like if you really are curious about it, you can go check it out. The page is free. Anybody can subscribe that has an OnlyFans account, and you only have to be 18. I would love for you to go check it out. Right now, it is photos of myself because I still have shoots lined up in the future with other girls, which brings me to the next part about the magazine style website that is going to be really popping, in my opinion, is the features of these women that we're going to have. The first girl that I have lined up is so gorgeous, such a badass, such a powerhouse, so after everything in life that she wants. Because that's all I want anybody to do is just go after what you want. You cannot wait for anybody to hand it to you or ask you if you want it. You have got to do it. And
Right.
you can't use excuses and then be upset when you don't get the result you wanted. You have got to do the work and figure it out. So with the Tomboy OnlyFan page, my goal is to have girls on the page, Maxim style photos. If they are comfortable with more than that, more power to them. I'll lock a post on that page, make it whatever amount they feel comfortable with, and then people can buy those photos if they like. In my mind, do I see it getting any more wild than like maybe a Playboy style shoot? Not really. This is
Right.
just to have a way for us to advertise the clothes and post women feeling really confident and maybe wanting to feel a little sexy or spice things up or whatever it is they want to do. Maybe it's in their marriage or just maybe they're single. Like I don't know what their circumstances are going to be that are going to make them want to bear it if that's what they choose to do, because I'm not mad about it, ladies.
If you want it, do it,
Um,
honey.
but there's always in my mind, I'm always going to try to keep it classy. You guys know I'm always going to try to keep it 100. It's always going to be something I can be proud of. And if I can't do it the way I want to do it, I'm just not going to do it yet. I'm going to figure out how to do it.
Right. I mean, I think there's just so many ways now to live that authentic self, to embrace your authentic self. And that's what we're doing. That's what we want women to do. That's what we want you to come to the website, to listen to the podcast, to come to the OnlyFans pages, and just be authentically you. This is a zero. When I say zero judgment zone, there is no zone with less judgment than this. Okay. We are here for it. We want to hear your stories. We want to know the dirt. We want to know the good, the bad, the real ugly, the real crazy. Okay. And that's what we're here for. And if we can just encourage women, men, whoever, to embrace themselves, break free from that box, or find some more room in that box. That's all. That's all we want.
I just think it's important that everybody feels like they can come hang out and they're going to hear some funny stories. And like on my story over the weekend, I put, did anybody have any questions for the podcast or for me? And somebody asked me, what is the weirdest thing that you've gotten, like the weirdest request you've gotten on OnlyFans so far? Like, I don't really feel like I've gotten any strange one. I have gotten requests that maybe other people might think were out of the park, but I'm not expecting anything but weird, to be honest.
Right. I mean,
I mean, it's
let
OnlyFans. I'm
people
kind of
enjoy.
expecting people to let those inhibitions go. So if they're
Right.
doing it, I'm all for it. Like I'm cheering them on.
Right. And I think that's
I mean,
why
really,
this is such a good platform to use, because when you take people into a zone where they don't feel judged, because people do get on OnlyFans, people got some weird things going on. They like to look at weird things. That is not my business, honey. You live your best life. But when you take them to that place where they feel comfortable in their in their ness. Okay, it opens and
Yeah.
allows them to be in tune with themselves, and it allows them to be anonymous. Okay, so a lot of people that don't want to go on my coaching website, that's all professional and lilac colors and whatever, they're not going to go on there and tell me in their intro email that they have a weird fetish and they don't know sexually if that's okay, but they'll get anonymously on OnlyFans and talk to me, and that's fine. So we are opening
Yes.
up for the weird, the not weird.
Yes.
Nothing's actually weird, guys. Everything is actually normal if it's your normal.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line.
Yes. And we're all weird. It's kind of
Exactly.
like the
Embrace
same
the
thing.
weird,
Yeah.
right?
The two things are the one thing.
Nothing's actually weird. It's actually a horrible
Yeah.
word because it's not weird. It's just you. And it might be different
Yeah.
than what's me, but hey,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I want to hear about it.
I definitely want to hear about it.
Right. Like, tell me.
Yeah, I haven't really. I think about that question. Have I gotten any weird ones? But I haven't. I have gotten just what I would think were requests.
Right. On
You
OnlyFans.
know, this is what I think yeah, this is what turns me on. I'd like to see you do that thing. I think it's kind of flattering, actually.
Right. Like, you think about me on a Tuesday? Okay, then.
Yeah. You want to see me do what?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Right.
I don't know. Let me see what I can do.
Let me see what I can pull together. But
No, but in all seriousness, the Tomboy OnlyFans and what Lila's doing with her coaching, I think it's genius what you're doing because of the topic that you'll be coaching about, and it's the best way, in my opinion, to have a conversation with somebody in a coaching setting that is also completely anonymous. I don't
right.
know where else you would be able to do that.
And I'll be doing lives and I'll be doing Q&As and all the things. And I mean, I
Yeah,
just think it's a safe space. And I think it's a safe space for people if you want to be anonymous and never tell me who you are. You don't have to show me your face. I don't need to know if I know you in my real life. None of that. And that's not something you can do in a professional coaching relationship. But this is that
right,
place. This is that place. This
right.
is that safe place.
Yes, yes. And I mean, hello, you saw People versus Larry Flint, right?
Right.
I'm like, I actually love, because I've had a couple of people ask me, well, what about all of the stuff with Playboy right now and all of the documentaries that are out and the girls are saying this? Well, first of all, who didn't know that? Who
Right.
didn't assume that was happening?
Come on.
And second of all, I feel like it only works in my favor because this is women taking photos of women.
Right.
I
We are
don't see
not.
what the big deal is. This is women giving women advice about experiences they've had. This is an amazing time, I think, for Tomboy to be doing what it's doing with
Right.
whatever's going on with Playboy. On top of the fact, I see a bunch of little tweens walking around wearing Playboy. They
Right.
don't give a.
They
They
don't
love the
care.
money. They cannot help themselves. They love the money.
Right. And we're not
I
forcing
love the
anybody.
money.
We all love the money. We're not forcing
No,
anybody. This is all women led, women orchestrated. This is all people volunteering and wanting to be a part of this project and wanting to be a part of this cause. So this is us giving a place, a platform to let it all out, guys. Let it all out. We're just here to
yeah, and
be your cheerleader, honey. Yes.
yes. And I'm really excited too because I think we can have some really cool guests on that
Yeah.
can give their own perspective and have their own set of skills that they bring to the table and their own career and their own
Yeah.
background where they're giving another example of how you can be this, but also be this, this, and this.
Right.
Yes, because just in my life, and I don't know about you, but all I have ever cared about as far as a skill set and building skill sets was just being well rounded. I never wanted to be just a bodybuilder. I also wanted to be flexible and I also wanted to be able to run fast and I also wanted to be able to swim fast. And I just all
Right.
I want to be prepared. I'm a tomboy
Right.
scout.
Tomboy Scout. I was in Girl Scouts too, girl. I was in Girl Scouts too. It wasn't very long lived, but I was in there. My mom just stopped taking me to the meetings.
I
I
vaguely remember you telling me that before.
Yeah, it was short lived. We didn't quite
That's
get the
so funny.
American understanding of like if you start going to Girl Scouts, people generally go every week. It was like a anyway. We missed that. We missed that in the becoming American or living in America thing. So,
That
but
is so funny. As somebody whose parents, well, I say that, my mother was not taking me to a single thing. Okay. I don't care if it was a gymnastics class I wanted to take or a ballet class. It was like not in her, just not in her schedule. She had no bandwidth for that. So it wasn't even until I moved here that I could like join a team and be a part of this and join a club and yeah, lame. Well, I think we've given you guys a little bit of a taste of what you have to look forward to. I hope you have enjoyed the podcast so far. You obviously can reach out to us on social. You can find me at Chrissy Nikki. There's a lot of eyes in there. And you can follow the podcast at Tomboy Clubhouse. Lila's handles, I'm going to let her give us because they are, what's the
Okay.
word? Not punny. They're not punny.
They okay. My personal Instagram is magyar_beauty, MAGYAR_beauty. That's my personal. And the one that is tied to my coaching and is tied to all things my coaching is at BUYOUTIFUL and Bolt. So,
Can you just say that? Can you say your Instagram handle one more time?
which one?
Your
When I,
personal.
magyar_beauty, like MAGYAR_beauty, BEAUTY.
Okay, now that we've had a little taste of the Hungarian, we need a little more.
Ah, okay,
Say
for
something
those
to
of you,
me.
ma este szerintem nagyon jól ment ez a podcast, és szeretem vele csinálni, mert nagyon humorosak vagyunk együtt, és szerintem a hallgatók nagyon fogják.
I love it. It's so cool.
If you're Hungarian, check in, y'all. Check in.
Now I got to translate that.
Right.
All right, so those are our handles. You know where to find us. We will be back. Let us know on our socials if you got any questions. We want to answer them. Hit us up on OnlyFans. You know where we're at. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.